Oh. Well, that was a surprise. Are we seeing giant bats? I really hope so. Okay, this is going all kinds of weird. Hi, I'm Darren Naish, monster expert, and today I'm going to be reality checking Elden Ring. So I am aware of Elden Ring. It's this world that's very kind of high fantasy, a world with sorcerers, magicians, and heroic knights that go on quests. I'm curious to see whether we do encounter creatures that are at least grounded in enough natural history to say interesting things about them. So we're seeing some kind of creature in a built environment. Oh, it's an enormous snake with limbs, and that's pretty cool. It fights with weapons and a shield. Would there ever be a snake with limbs? Now, snakes are a subgroup of lizards, and we know that snakes evolved from limbed ancestors. Snakes exactly like this have never existed, but we do know from the fossil record that snakes did have legs in the past. So maybe not that ridiculous as you might think. I'm going to give this a pass. Are we seeing giant bats? I really hope so. We are. Yes. This is a really interesting question in biology. Why aren't there people-sized bats? There aren't. The biggest bat ever has a wingspan of not even 2 meters and weighs 1.6 kilos, about 3 pounds. There never have been giant bats. And why is that? It might just be a fluke. It might just be that bats have never had the opportunity to evolve giant size. Bats have always evolved alongside predatory birds. So if there is a world without predatory birds, where bats are given free rein to evolve in directions that they haven't done in our world, could you get a human-sized bat? Yes, you definitely could. So this is definitely a big fat pass. Big fan of big bats. Chef's kiss. We are seeing some kind of tentacled amphibious creature with a beak, and I'm pretty confident therefore this is one of the octopus style creatures. And there's a bunch of things that could be said about this. I mean, it's able to move on land, clearly. Now, some of the smaller octopuses, animals smaller than the size of your hand, can make short excursions across land. We generally think that this group of animals can't become specialised for life on land because they obviously lack internal support. They have an insufficient skeleton. Given the fact that this creature is associated with watery environments, it's travelling across land in a way that we know that some living octopuses can do. The fact that it's got this dry exterior, it looks like it's specialised for being able to travel on land. I feel this is actually pretty good from the point of view of speculative evolution, speculative biology, and for that reason I will give it a pass. A gigantic, fairly gross looking horned, long-tailed quadrupedal mammal of some kind with tusk-like teeth and a horn. This might be the hippopotamus. Oh. Well, that was a surprise. It can grow instantly an abundance of spiky filaments, like plant-like growths all over it. People have always confused hippos and rhinos, so yeah, were they inspired by that? Were they thinking that a hippopotamus might have a horn like a rhino? This incredibly rapid release of these giant tendril-like structures is weird. It's not something that we are generally used to in animals, but there are several animals that do have structures like this that can explosively unfurl from the body. Some caterpillars in self-defense can very quickly unfurl giant, soft, twirling horns from the back of the head. They can do this instantly. There are clearly like a whole bunch of different influences that we might bring in here that do seem like a really unlikely combination of features. It's a pretty gross looking, scary creature. It's quite a nice creature for this world, for this game. I like it, but I'm going to give it a fail. We're seeing what looks like a reptile with lots of like really nicely detailed, folded, scaly skin. It's superficially quite snake-like, but that's a turn up for the books. It's got like a sort of human face somewhere on it. Okay, this is going all kinds of weird. So a sword covered in tongues We know from many examples in the living world that different species, sometimes belonging to entirely different groups of organisms, can live in symbiosis. They both benefit from the relationship. In terms of two animals basically molding together and forming like a new hybrid superorganism, we do know of such things, but we're talking there about microorganisms. But actually smashing two bodies together like this and becoming some new weird superorganism, I'm pretty sure that belongs in the world of fantasy. It's so off the charts weird that means it's got to be a fail. So we're clearly seeing a very agile, very fast-moving humanoid of some sort. We're close relatives of animals like chimpanzees, and we know that they will use hammers to smash open nuts, and they even make spear-like objects in order to spear little primates. This is a real thing in chimpanzees. So probably the use of weapons and tools of that type is at least 6 million years old. The fact that we've got a kind of, human-like creature that is able to wield weapons and tools, I feel it's pretty plausible, and I think it's a pretty good-looking creature. So yeah, I'm gonna give this one a pass. We see unmistakably fire, wings, a giant scaly creature. It's a dragon of some form. Pretty weird looking, novel, kind of gross dragon with these kind of like hanging, tattered, sort of almost cloth-like ripped wings, 3 pairs of horns, and a giant chin. It can clearly fly. It's got a whole bunch of tricks up its sleeve. This dragon, we can see it's missing one of its legs, and it's using one of its wings in place of a leg. And that's really interesting. We know from many, many examples, animals have had all kinds of horrible injuries and it often died, but in many cases have not died. They have managed to heal and make a living for themselves. Whether as a flying animal you would be able to use a wing as a leg and still be able to function, still be able to fly, is a big ask. As a boss, this dragon obviously ticks a lot of the boxes, but in terms of how he might actually work as a living organism, no, I don't think it's likely that you would be able to use a wing as a main method of support and still be a successful flying animal. So for that reason alone, it does have to get a fail. Obviously, quite a few of the creatures in Elden Ring, it's high fantasy. We're not meant to be looking at them and interpreting them as, plausibly real animals to fit in our world. So that's the main caveat. But I was quite interested in the fact that several of the creatures don't just look cool, they actually, have an element of plausibility to them that I really did quite like. The complexity, the depth of the Elden Ring universe is phenomenal. As an overall grade, I would give Elden Ring, from the reality check point of view, a D. But we're not meant to be looking at a world that works the same way as ours does, so that's by no means a mark of shame. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, check out the other reality checks that are on PC Gamer's YouTube channel, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to PC Gamer's YouTube channel, where you can find other videos from myself and other experts. So see you later, bye bye.